Hey there, friends and enemies. Joper here again, and today I want to talk about an Arc 3.0 Titan build that I've been absolutely loving recently, and this is a combo I highly recommend you all check out if you get a chance. Now, it all starts with a couple things. One, if you don't have the catalyst for Thunderlord, do some general playlist activities, whether it's Gambit, Strikes, or Crucible. Get this and level it up as soon as possible. Finish it off because the Thunderlord with the Catalyst is absolutely insane. What it does is it causing a lightning strike with this weapon partially reloads the magazine from reserves. Who needs Actium War Rig? It's phenomenal, really, really good. The other part of this that I'm really enjoying is Brigand's Law. This is the new sidearm with Season of Plunder, and it comes with a new perk called Volt Shot. Reloading this weapon after defeating a target overcharges weapon for a short period of time, causing it to jolt on its next hit, which comes in handy when you're setting up a jolt build. This also has the right hook intrinsic perk. Dealing melee damage gives this weapon increased target acquisition and range for a short period of time. Dealing melee damage again extends the effect. So if you're using your melee often, like I will be with this build, then it comes in handy quite a bit. I'm absolutely loving that. So I'm throwing Towering Barricade, Strafe Lift. I also have Thunder Crash on. Without the Curious, which still does enough damage for a lot of enemies that it's not a big deal. Ballistic Slam, although you could use any of your melees for this, I've just been enjoying using Ballistic Slam, jumping around and flying across the map while amplified. I also use Lightning Grenade. Now this one's a little bit of a personal choice. You can throw any of the grenades on, but the reason is because I have Touch of Thunder on, and the lightning grenades have an additional grenade charge and jolts targets hit by the initial blast. So again, jolting enemies as often as possible with this build. Then we've got Knockout, critically wounding or breaking their shield for targets, infuses your melee attacks with arc energy. So defeating targets with melee attacks starts health regeneration and makes you amplified. So that's obviously huge. I'm gonna be using my melee whenever I can on the red bar enemies especially. While surrounded, you are more resistant to incoming damage. Between this and then this aspect here, knockout, I'm going to be staying alive pretty much all the time. No real danger of dying. Taking melee damage briefly increases your outgoing melee damage. This is nice in case you get hit. Then we've got Spark of Frequency, and then I'll increase my reload speed after melee hits, which is nice. And then also defeating a jolted target creates ionic trace. So I'm jolting as many enemies as possible and then creating those ionic traces and getting my abilities back even faster. It's a lot of fun. So I'm really just jolting enemies as often as possible, defeating them with my melee and having a nice little loop. This weapon doesn't matter as much. I was running Defiance of Yasmin because I just got it from the Kingsfall raid, and I wanted to check it out and see how much I enjoyed the weapon. It has Osmosis on it if I want to use that for arc damage as well. Arc kills, so that's nice. And then obviously we've got Brigand's Law and Thunderlord. As far as my exotic, I'm running Heart of Inmost Light. This is because I'm using all my melee and grenade abilities as often as possible, so I'm basically supercharging one after the other. Now, in this gameplay, I didn't really need it, but if you want to, you throw up your barricade a lot, and you'll be able to supercharge your abilities even more as well. I'm running Font of Might, Harmonic Siphon, Ashes to Assets. We've got Momentum Transfer, Fastball, Radiant Light, and then we've got the Void Solar Arc damage resistance, which is really nice here. I also have Elemental Armaments. Then we've got the Machine Gun Holster, Absolution Elemental Ordnance, and then finally we've got Seeking Walls, Distribution, Bad Amplitude, and that is that for the majority of the build. Although once I get some of these others unlocked, like for example Amped Up, I'll probably throw that on, or maybe Thunderous Retort, depending on what I want to do. So getting into the gameplay, and the reason I'm really enjoying this build is because the loop of gameplay is just very satisfying. Whether it's using Thunderlord when I have max ammo and just being able to eat through enemies, whether it's using Brigand's Law early and often because I'm jolting enemies and I just feel supercharged, get in enemy's face with the my melee attack and just go to town with a sidearm. I'm really enjoying that loop. Now, this is a pretty flexible build. So if you have a favorite exotic armor that you want to throw on, you can toss it on. If you have a kinetic weapon that you want to toss on in place of my sniper rifle, you can do that as well. I just didn't really have a ton of ranged weapons, so that's why I tossed it on. Plus, extra damage if I needed to for DPS. Well, even though I don't have the best roll with the Defiance of Yasmin. Now, other than that, there's not a ton of content in the game where you're really challenged. Like, I would be comfortable taking this build into a dungeon, taking it into a raid, anything like that, if it is an encounter where I'm not trying to do just pure max DPS, where I would need something like a linear fusion rifle. So for that, this works out extremely well. You can also have it as an anti-champion build, because obviously Thunderlord can now take out Overload champions and stun them, which is nice. And you can swap out Defiance of Yasmin for a shotgun to take out Unstoppables, or some other weapon that you can take out champions as well. So this is pretty flexible, which I really enjoy. I don't like having to change a ton. What I like to do with my personal builds is, one, maximum fun factor, two, flexibility, so I can keep it on for a week and then change up my build entirely going into the next week, and then three, how useful it is across multiple types of content. And I really feel like this is. I could not worry about this, take this into PvP and still have a really, really good time with it and have it be effective. So let me know what you guys think of the build in the comments down below. Will you be trying this out? I'm rocking out one of the new Pirates hideouts from Season of Plunder in the gameplay. So yeah, I'm really digging this season's vibe as well, which is awesome. Anyway, hit that like button if you enjoyed the video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I throw out Destiny videos pretty consistently, so definitely stay tuned for all of those. My name is Jolt. I hope you have a good one, and I'll catch you all later.
Good job, Guardian. You too, little sister. Read about this in one of your books?